Are you ready? Because motherfuckers, I'm back. Hey up, folks, it's Mr. B, YouTube's best kept secret and all-round best YouTube guardian gamer in the world, bar none. Deal with it, and I'm here with the gorgeous, the beautiful, the Queen of Supreme, the podcasting dream.
Just call me Tats.
I love how you did I always love how you did that little pause. Just call me Tats. So yeah, we're back now. We were supposed to be back last week. And we recorded everything. It was an amazing podcast for us two because only us heard it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, the software I used, which was Slobs, my nemesis at this moment in time. For anyone who doesn't know, that Streamlabs OBS just literally recorded nothing but static.
Yeah. It was a good
There,
podcast, though. I was
it was
really
an
gutted about
amazing
that.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Mm.
mix. It was all about COD,
Yeah.
and obviously now it's a bit. Well, it's happened now, so we've got a little bit to talk about because I had new stuff. But we're back, and the main thing is we're back, and we're back to our weekly routine. And I've got to say, I've been listening to the videos you've been putting out. That's fucking awesome,
Tragic.
especially with your little cat Luna.
And oh, I know. Speaking of Luna, she's actually right in front of me at the moment, and she's just like licking my hand, and it's kind of like their way of saying hello or like I love you. And oh, bless her, she's so cute. She
This
she
is
wants
nothing
to
in
be.
between, is it?
She wants to be on the podcast today. She liked it the first time that she was on the video, so she thought she'd come back for a round two. So
You
yeah,
sound like a gold digger completely. There's nothing in
definitely.
between hello and I love you. Hello, how much do you earn? Yes, I love you. I live with you. That's
Pretty
fine.
much. She loves me because of what I give her in treats and God knows what else. So yeah, she's a bit of a gold
I
digger.
know it very well. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know it very well. Cupboard love. Yeah. My wife says I've cupboard love for her, but that's not quite true. But no, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
It's I've had a hell of a week. In
Mm.
all honesty, I'm sat here now. My eyes are streaming from trying to stay awake because I've not slept for like 4 days. For anyone who doesn't know, I've literally been suffering from the weirdest anaphylactic allergic reaction to an
Mm.
insect bite.
Yep.
I had a bottom lip that would make Eddie Murphy proud.
Oh, mate, we need
It
to
was
put a
just.
picture on screen, please. Just so that people know, we need to put
I,
the picture on screen.
yeah, I looked like I was getting ready to audition for the geezer out of the Goonies. Hey, you guys. Um, I've been practicing that all week as well. You know, I look terrible. It
You'd literally
look worse
like
than
the
normal.
picture that I saw would make them slutty women that live in LA who get Botox every fucking week to be like, oh my god, I want those lips. I'm
What
so
was the bird out?
jelly.
What was the bird out of Men Behaving Badly? What was she called?
Oh god, I don't know.
Wrecked her face with Botox and everything else that she did.
It
She was
just
a proper gorgeous woman and then just went into self destruction.
it just reminded me literally of like a gold digger's lips, you know, like they marry an old guy for money and the first thing that they do is get lip fillers. You got them from an insect bite
Yep.
and they pay thousands and thousands of dollars for it. Just get a fucking
To work
insect
out
to
what
bite you, mate.
if I could work out what insect it was, I could rent it out. I'd make millions.
Oh, mate. Step right
You
up,
wanna
get an
talk?
insect bite for your lip fillers.
I could have literally rented my bottom lip out as a bouncy castle. It was that big. Insane. And what made it worse was my dog was like looking at me going, I don't know you.
Oh, god.
Sort of looked like me dad, but who are you? It was a horrible experience. So yeah, this week I've been pretty much through the ring. I was supposed to stream
Mm-hmm.
2 days ago Death Stranding, and Slobs decided it was never going to work again.
Mm.
So yeah, my mortal enemy right now is Slobs. So hopefully I've got that fixed. It completely wrecked my PC,
Yeah.
which was gutting for me to the point where I was like, you know what, fuck streaming. I've had enough. I've had enough of all the issues. I'll
Mm.
just stick to making videos. So yeah, and to be honest, I'm on the edge now. If I get one more problem over the next week with anything to do with streaming, I'm just not going to stream again.
See,
I'll just keep making videos for YouTube.
that's the worst thing, though. It's like my problem because of the state of what my equipment is in right now. As someone that uploads YouTube or to YouTube or streams or something like that, when your equipment malfunctions or when a program that you use ends up making updates like Slobs has done, and then it's like they sort of broke something that was perfect in the beginning, and it just fucks you up. When you do this as like a hobby or whatever, it really messes up with your head when your equipment fails on you. So I completely sympathize with you, buddy. Really do.
It's like Bungie when they use the philosophy of if it ain't broke, break it. And
Yeah.
this is the way it works. It's just Slobs was working perfectly fine,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden it's convinced my PC that it needs like 6 more CPUs to run it. Fuck's sake, man. But in any case, we're here, and
Yep.
I'm recording on a simple program that can't feck up, and if it does, I'm going to be one unhappy chappy.
Uninstall life.
If this one cocks up, I'm literally just going to put out a 30-second video on Tuesday saying, fuck TGP, fuck the world, I've had enough. I'm done. Literally done. But no, but seriously, thank you to everyone who stuck by my channel,
Yep.
and stuck by me, and stuck by the stream and everything. And obviously everyone who's been helping Tats on, because those videos have been really cool, been really nice to listen to.
Thank you.
And if you haven't listened to already, you need to get out there and listen to the videos. I went to bed listening to one, like put it in the background and was like listen, thinking this is actually quite soothing. I tell you what would be a really good channel for you, like a really good thing. Do you read a lot?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I know what
Right.
you're about to fucking
So,
say.
Thing is though, if you've got a Kindle or you've got
Yes.
access to books at all, there's like the free books that you can get. I've just written one called Crimson something. It's a sci-fi. I love me sci-fi books.
Oh, yeah.
You could literally make a channel that's like an audio book channel, just reading the books.
You really think so?
Hey, I tell you, even I was considering to one stage, because I could put my voice acting in, but your voice is perfect for it.
Should I start doing that? I know.
I think you should, man.
Leave it in the comment section, whether it's on Mr. B's video or my video, whether you want to see that. And you know what? I will actually try it for an episode and see what feedback I get.
Because you could cut it into chunks, like 30-minute chunks or whatever.
Hell yeah.
Chapter 1 or chapter 1 through 5 or whatever.
Put it in a playlist.
It'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. I think that'd be a nice little, because it's free audiobooks. Audiobooks charge millions for their service. It's incredible how much they charge. Just so you can get Kevin Spacey read the book to you. No, thank you. I'd rather have your voice. It's awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll ever think about that. Definitely.
There you go. If you don't do it, I'm doing it with my northern voice. You can imagine Pride and Prejudice, like something like Shakespeare. Dost thou want to see me tomorrow?
That would be amazing, dude. I think that would be awesome.
Romeo, Romeo, where art thou, you bastard?
My cat is trying to steal the limelight. If I had a fucking camera on right now, then she's walking backwards and forwards in front of the mic. So if anyone can hear a bit of scuffling or purring or anything like that or meowing, it's genuinely my cat trying to steal the microphone away from me. I apologise in advance.
Your listeners, it's a cracking excuse, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just me. I'm rubbing up against the mic.
That's what the kids call it these days, is it?
I nearly said something so fucking crude then, but I won't. I'll just stick to the F-bombs. That's it. I'm not going to say anything else.
Yeah, and I bet it had to be another name for cat as well.
Funnily enough, yes, it was.
I know where your mind was going.
In the fucking gutter.
Yeah, I think the whole of the YouTube community now does as well. You just become the #1 star.
Oh,
so,
fuck.
Gaming.
Yes.
Gaming. So it's been a bit of a cool 2 weeks. Obviously, we had the release of COD.
Yep.
Which has been, I put my review out on it. For me, it's been lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Purely because it was more down to my game style, which is the slow, cheeky, bring people in to blow them up and watch them sit there giggling as they do it. It's beautiful. But obviously, it's been getting bitch slapped from pillar to post by 402 Thunder, Karma, and loads of like proper OP bloody MLG superstars are like, no, I'm not playing this no more because you can't run and gun.
Yeah. I think
It's
people are trying to they're trying to make every new COD now back to COD 4. You know, when it actually was
yeah,
good, they're like, "Oh, nothing compares to COD 4." It's like, "Bro, that was 10 years ago. Calm down. Like, come on, move with the
exactly. Gaming's
times."
supposed to be about innovation, not
Yeah.
imitation.
Yeah.
And the straight fact is, they tried to do something new with the new sort of gameplay. They didn't get. There's a few things they didn't quite get right, like the weapon balancing and stuff.
And the dead
Haven't what?
silence. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and things like that they need to sort. But as far as the game style was concerned, I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But now they've just released a couple of new maps, and obviously they have backed down to these OP MLG superstars, and now created a more um, run and gun esque
Mhm.
playstyle, which is just fucked it right up in my opinion. All the Twitch kiddies are happy again, so it looks like I'm going back to Battlefield, which just released another couple of maps, which are
Nice.
beautiful, by the way. Have you seen them? The new maps on
No,
Battlefield.
I've not. I'm gonna have to have a look
Oh,
at that.
Jesus Christ, the Iwo Jima maps. Iwo Jima. They're not to be, casual racism and everything, but they're absolutely stunning and really well put together as well. I've had a blast. There's two new maps, a lot of new guns and stuff. And I loaded it up last week. Must have had enough for COD while I was waiting for Death Stranding.
Alright.
And Jesus, Mary, Joseph of the two. I was gobsmacked at how beautiful these maps were.
Yeah.
I wanted to jump through my screen and go there on holiday. It was that good.
See, I like Battlefield maps in most of the Battlefield sort of series. I loved all of them. I loved all their maps. I think they're beautiful. They are beautiful. I haven't seen the new ones, but
Well, the
Battlefield make
Battlefield
good
5 maps
ones.
so far have been okay at best. There's
Yeah.
been some nice ones,
Yeah.
but there's been some god awful ones as well,
See,
like the Mauritius ones.
in comparison to like Call of Duty and stuff, which is just usually a load of broken buildings and a load of broken down cars, I'd probably say in comparison, because this new Call of Duty really does, and people might hate me for this, but it reminds me of Battlefield, like with the tanks and the vehicles in the
Yeah, they tried.
multiplayer, stuff like that, the high buildings, it reminds me of Battlefield
Yeah,
Hardline a little bit,
the
you
the
know.
difference between that and Battlefield is the scumminess of the people who play it. In the ground wars, 90% of each team is made up of snipers
Yeah.
who will try and get as high as possible or the back of the map as far to snipe. Just like I do, to be fair, I'm not different. I'm not like claiming some sort of moral high ground here because you can't run and gun in those game modes. You do, you
Mm.
get smacked instantly. You'll have a KD of like minus 55 million. It's it's insane. But the Battlefield, it's a bit more. If you try and do that in Battlefield, you will get rinsed
Yeah. The gun
because
the
the
gunplay's
game
different in
they're more
Battlefield.
methodical.
Yeah.
I think they're more intelligent players in Battlefield,
Yeah, I
and I
even
actually
have to admit
genuinely
that.
believe that
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
because the people in Battlefield, in general,
Mhm.
use tactics,
Yeah.
actual tactics, squad tactics,
Mhm.
whereas in COD, it's everyone for themselves,
It is. It's
realistically.
it's like solo. It's literally every man for themselves. It's like you're playing a free for all. But I've just
The
noticed
difference
that it's
between,
snipers, tanks, and fucking claymores. That's what I've seen on the new Call of Duty at the
yeah,
moment.
I mean,
Claymores.
when I play COD with my mates, we're just generally talking about anything as we're running around like doing our shit. When I
Mm.
play Battlefield with my mates, we're like relaying information back and forth.
Yeah.
Bloody tactics going on, right? You push around that side, I'll come from this side, and all that sort of stuff. Battlefield is a thinker's man's simulator,
Mhm.
whereas COD's just an arcade piece of shit. Oh, that's good. But that you can tell I'm not a Codamite. So it's just I don't worship at the altar of COD as much as I've enjoyed the new iteration.
Mm.
But the other thing is we're talking about oh innovation. The other game to come out this week is Death Stranding. Fuckity doo dah. I don't even know where to begin with that one. I've literally been sat making notes for my review, which will probably come out in the next week.
Mm.
And I just don't know where to begin with
I
it.
was gonna say, are you making a review on that? Because that would be quite interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But as soon as I'll make a review, then I'll trade it in. But the thing with it is that Kojima. 100% Kojima, and what I mean by that is it's completely batshit crazy.
Yeah.
I listen to some people do reviews on it, and they go on about, it's just an Amazon Prime postal simulator, and anyone who says that has either not played it properly, or didn't understand what the fuck was going on. Because that is not the case at all. I mean, the premise of the story is that the world's gone to shit. Obviously, there's no Kojima game where the world hasn't gone to shit. So the world's gone to the shit. There's no date in it as far as how far into the future it is. We just know everything's dead, long dead. Like, imagine the type of sort of dead I'm seeing is a Holocaust that wiped out the whole of America, and then add 300 years to it. So you get the sort of idea of how fucked up it is. The problem is that the landscape doesn't look anything like America.
Oh.
It looks like Scandinavia. Kojima turned around and said, "Has anyone got some pictures of America?" And then they showed them Helsinki. That's America, Kojima. All right, okay, we'll just go off that then, because nothing looks like it. You've even got like, like the black sand beaches and all that sort of stuff that you find in Norway and all that sort of area.
Yeah.
Iceland, you've got all that sort of stuff and like the volcanic beaches and everything,
Right.
which just aren't, or that I understand, or how I would imagine America to be.
It reminds me a little bit like a cross between some parts of Europe and New Zealand. That's what it
Yeah,
reminds me of. The
and
Greenland of
the
New Zealand. Yeah.
yes,
The
that's exactly
mountains.
what it's like.
Uh huh.
And the soundtrack is very like Bjorn-esque.
Oh. Okay.
What was the song that went along?
Oh, that was on an advert
Um,
for a car. I know it was, but I don't know what it was.
yeah,
I don't know what it's called.
but it was all
Fuck.
like really happy, really cool sort of vibey music. But it's like that sort of music, and it's all done by basically no. This is why I say Scandinavian. It's all by Scandinavian artists.
Oh.
Weird. It really it doesn't look anything like America. But in any case, so the world's gone to shit. There's some sort of paranormal um, activity going on in the form of an enemy called the BTs, and all that is not British Telecom. They're just bloody twats, as far as I'm concerned. So you get these bloody twats that will come in and will try and pull you into some oily sludge.
Right.
Um, so that you've got that problem, and then you've got the terrorist side of things who don't want America to reconnect. In the meantime, you join a faction that's trying to get America all back on like a connected sort of level again. So from there, your job is basically to go from settlement to settlement to reconnect everybody. But in the meantime, all the settlements need supplies as they would in the future. So your job is to take supplies from A to B. Now, some of those supplies are stupid. Like one of the twats wanted an express pizza. I wanted to blow his place up when I got there. But it's things like seeds and things that you've got to take from A to B. So yes, there is the aspect of I am just a postman, but it is you're not a postman. Um, yes, you are taking stuff from A to B, and that is the crux of the game, working out how to get from A to B. But the idea is the stories or premise behind stories, the story or premise behind it
Hmm.
is that you're trying to reconnect America
Right. Okay.
to East. And yeah, it's a weird game. It's a masterpiece,
Okay.
but a masterpiece for gaming connoisseurs.
Right. It seems like one of those games that you couldn't play with music in the background. Like you couldn't just listen to like your favorite rapper whilst playing it. Like you could play
Oh
probably
yes,
Call
you
of
can.
Duty.
Yes,
Don't
you
you need to
can.
like listen to some sort of story though? Is it not like
Yeah,
that?
the story's few and far between. You get like 2 hours gameplay for an hour's cutscene. It's crazy. But
Okay.
you'll get like a big cutscene all at once, like
Hmm.
typical Kojima. He just slaps you around the face with a movie, like a 10-minute movie or whatever. Um, and then you carry on and on and on. But there's not much in between apart from trying to get from A to B and reconnect in America.
Okay.
So the biggest thing is, I mean, every now and again it'll just chuck a song up. out
Right.
of nowhere, and you're like, I wasn't really listening to you. To be honest, I didn't want to listen to you. Um, some of the songs is fucking god awful, but the the biggest thing that I've been doing while I've been playing is I'm having to watch TV at the same time
Yeah, that's
to
what I
keep me
mean.
stimulated
Like,
because
is it not one of
it
those to
is
where
boring.
you can have half your headset off? Is it one of those where you have to listen to it all
Yeah,
the
no, you
time,
can't.
or can you just sort of look
No,
somewhere else whilst driving or whatever?
no. I've got two screens. I've got no. 'Cause you don't drive. You walk mainly everywhere.
Okay.
I've got two screens. I've got one playing the game and one showing Big Bang Theory. And at the end of the day, it's when I say boring, it's the weirdest type of boring. I keep saying words like weird and batshit crazy because generally, if a game's boring, you just put it down and sell it and think, "No, I can't be asked with that."
Uh-huh.
But there's something intriguing about it. There's something that makes you want to go back to it, to keep playing, to keep getting to the next place.
Yep.
And it's a weird. Do you know, like at the gym? Yeah, you wake up and think, "Oh, I don't really want to go to the gym. Can't be asked." But then you force yourself to go, and then once you're there, you're really glad you've been there. You're really glad you're doing it. Once you're actually doing it, it's all right.
Okay.
The game is the exact same thing.
Right.
And there was one thing where it gave me a thing where I practically had to walk 3/4 away across America to get all across this region. And I was like, oh, I can't be asked doing that.
Yeah, because I was
Can't be.
thinking,
No fucking way.
you're not really selling the game to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'd
it
try and sell
sounded
you.
interesting, but it's like you're saying, this, and this. But it's, I don't know, it's one of those things that if you're in the mood for like that sort of chill games where you're just walking everywhere, you don't want to have to listen to the law, you want to watch a bit of TV whilst playing a game, then fair enough. But sometimes you want to be engrossed with the law and
This
the
is the thing.
cutscenes,
This is where the weird shit comes in. This game makes you feel different to any other game I've ever played. Any other.
So there's not a game
And
like this out there, no.
no, nothing. It's
Hmm.
got elements of other games, but there's nothing like this.
Okay.
And one of the weirdest, most intriguing things about this game, above anything else,
Hmm.
is that it draws you back to it. You can't put it down.
It's quite hard for a
Uh,
game to do that when it's not got a lot of,
yeah.
you know.
Well, it's bear in mind a lot of it's problem solving.
Okay.
Most of the game is problem solving.
Hmm.
Give you, for instance, I had a truck with a load of gear in it, load of packages and stuff, and I thought, fucking awesome! I can take all this thing. I can just do like 3 drops at once. Jobs are good, and earn all this money and all this shit. Oh, fame! I think it's not money. Halfway around the trip, I got to a point where my truck couldn't go no further. I then had to work out what I needed to drop so that I could pick up the other stuff and then start working out a logistical way of getting all this stuff to where I want it to go in one trip without having to double back every 2 minutes.
Right.
Problem solving comes in, and from a problem solving aspect, it's intensely fun. I'm a person that enjoys a game of chess where it's tactics and you're thinking and you're problem solving. And I explained it to a friend of mine who was in the military, in bands. And basically, like when you get put out onto a survival recce, where you just
Yeah.
get chucked in the woods and you've got to work out how to get back.
Hmm.
It's like that. It's
Right.
exactly like that.
Okay.
You've been given a lot of like really important stuff that this place absolutely needs 100%, and you've got to work out how to get from A to B over the terrain, dodging the bloody twats and the terrorists at the same time.
Right.
A horror theme into it as well, which rolls in where if you do get to a point where you have to go through BT territory,
Hmm.
you've got to do it low down. You've got to hold your breath at certain points. You've got to
Yeah.
inch your way through and try not to get caught. And if you do get caught, you've got to leg it and
It
hope you're
seemed
right.
like it had that sort of little bit of a Splinter Cell-y sort of stealth about it as
It
well.
does.
You know,
Yeah,
it
it does.
seemed like that very much. Yeah.
The mules, which are the terrorists, they can fuck you over quickly, because they've got scanners, and if you went to their area, they literally start scanning for you, and you've got to get out of where you were, so you can't just stay in the same place because they'll just put out a bing spot where you are, and they'll come to where you are. So you've got to keep moving, and
I'd
it's a
shit
nightmare.
myself.
And if they see you, if you've got no weapons, you've just got to run, and you've got to hope to God that they don't catch you. because they'll just nick all your stuff and rape you. And it's just the way
Oh,
it goes. BTs, different story. BTs will literally, they're like the paranormal side of things.
mm-hmm.
They will bring out everything they can. They're like little floating things in the sky, and they're searching for you constantly. If you make,
Oh.
they're attracted to noise, so you can't make any noise. If you get near one, you've got to hold your breath. And it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder as the game goes on.
It sounds like a mind fuck. Now that you're explaining it a little bit more, it
It
sounds like a bit
is.
of a mind fuck, yeah.
And this is where my problem with a lot of the reviews are. When I started explaining this to you, it sounded like a postal simulator.
Yeah.
Then when you start going deeper into it, you start realizing, well, hang on, no, there's more to this. And there's a lot more to it. Which is why I keep saying to everyone, it's anyone who says it's just a postal stimulator, or simulator, not stimulator, anyone who says it's a postal simulator hasn't either got the concept or hasn't properly played it.
Yeah.
To it, and it's the lot more to it bits that keep pulling you back over and over again without fail. I'm getting to the point where once I've completed it, I've completed it. I don't need to go back to it. But whilst I'm still in the transition of completing it, I want to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I want to find out a bit more. I want to keep trying to connect, get to the end. Because you're on a journey, there's no way two ways about it. So spiritual story, mission wise, you're on a journey from start to finish, and I want to get to the end of that journey just to have the full Kojima experience. If you don't like Kojima games, you're probably not going to like this.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciation for his style, in the same way that you've got to really appreciate art house horror to enjoy the films.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I wouldn't necessarily recommend a Guillermo del Toro movie to anybody, because you've got to really appreciate who's actually in the game. You've got to really appreciate his style
Yeah.
to appreciate the movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's that sort of thing. Kojima's he's batshit crazy, and he has a certain way of doing things that can really play with your head.
Mm-hmm.
Do an out and out horror game, because he would be able to turn even the hardest horror nut into a weeping ball of like juice on the floor. By the time it's finished, his mind is a crazy, crazy place. Um, crazy, 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 crazy place. That guy's more batshit crazy than anyone on earth. And you can tell this is a game that he's just been allowed to make without any restraints.
Yeah, just like go crazy and just do it. Like
Yeah,
kind of like one of those. Yeah.
see, this is a game that nobody's asked for.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about Royal. It's not a first-person shooter. It's not an MMO. It's not an RPG. There's nothing that you can literally put that would pigeonhole this game.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody asked for it. He's just created something that he wanted to create.
Yeah, this was like literally
I
an image
admire.
in his mind. Like this was an image in his mind. It was
Yeah,
like, right, get it on fucking paper, get it on a computer, boom, let's make it. I appreciate that. That's fucking
yeah.
art, dude.
The straight. If you can appreciate that, you're what I call a connoisseur gamer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You're not the mainstream gamer, and a connoisseur gamer will understand what he's trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
and will appreciate the way it's been achieved, or the way it's sort of been put into action.
Mm-hmm.
And although I do appreciate all that, it's one of them games I can't even give it a score. And I won't ever be able to give it a score. It's not a 10 out of 10. It's not a 4 out of 10. There's just no way to score it.
Yeah.
In some aspects, it's perfect. In some aspects, it really fucking isn't. Almost job like in some aspects.
Yeah.
I actually sat there playing it just early today thinking, I'm taking a pizza to some geezer. I could be getting paid for this. It's really weird. There's bits where you just go, I can't be asked doing that, but I got to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost job like. I've never come across anything like this in my life, and I'm astounded with it.
Yeah.
It's whether I recommend it to anybody. No, not in a million years. because I don't want to be the person that gets the shit for recommending it if they didn't like it.
Yeah, I'd probably say
This is
wait for your review to come out, because it's going to be honest. It's going to be, because everyone knows that Mr. B's reviews are not, you know, shit covered in sugar or whatever. It's the real deal. It goes ham on it. It tells you everything you need to know, the pros and cons. If it's a shit game, you'll say it outright. You're not going to beat around the bush. So definitely wait for that review, I would say, and then make up your own mind if you want to play it or not. It
it.
still is in early days though. It only came out on the 8th of this month. So
I've been playing. I've had about 40 hours into it so far.
yeah.
But the straight fact is, I know exactly how that review is going to end.
Mhm.
Take everything I've said and add it to research before you buy it.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
And see, I'm not going to tell anyone to go and buy it
No.
because it's like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky
I
would
was
only appeal to certain people.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got that sort of vibe to the game as well, like No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in the same sense, if somebody likes sci-fi stuff, you've got an avenue to put into it. But there's no, I can't think of a niche market that would love this.
Mhm.
Like art house horror. If there's a decent director of that, and somebody likes art house horror, I'd say I've seen his movies. Go watch them. Really good. I can't think of it's apocalyptic. Yeah, do you like apocalyptic free roaming games? Well, yeah, there's that.
Yep.
But then it's not really that because it's more horror because of the BTs and stuff. Do you like horror games? Well, yeah, but do you find that boy? There's so many. It just crosses so many different realms.
It's not one genre. Like that's the thing. Like it's not an
There is no
just
genre
an
for it.
FPS. There's not. It's not just a battle royale. It's not just a horror game. It's like a multi dip into a lot of fucking things. And it's if you kind of like that sort of game. But I can't wait for your review. I'm really excited for it. I want to see
Thinking
the
about it while
truth.
I've been sat here, there is only one niche market for it, and
Mhm.
that's a Kojima market.
Right.
That's the only market. That's the only thing that it plays like a Kojima game. Metal. You can see influences from Metal Gear Solid.
Yep.
You see the little influences, like the little jokes and stuff. Like for instance, there's a bit, and this isn't a spoiler, so don't worry. There's a bit where you need to take Norman Reedus, who's the main character, for a shower and a shit. Right? It's in the game. You've got to go for it. When he goes for a shit, the screens close around him, so you can't see what's going on, but you know he's having a shit. The screens have an advert for his actual real life latest series on them.
Yeah. See, I
There's
actually wanted to bring
oh
something up about that. I really did. There was a bit of controversy that went on about this. Some people didn't really appreciate it, but apparently, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you've seen the news, then they've spoiled it before me. There's been a lot of, within the game, a lot of sort of advertisement for certain products and stuff like that, which it's not unheard of. It has happened in games before, but it's kind of so blatant that you can't even call it a subliminal message, like it's right there in the
yeah,
cutscene, like I think you know what I'm talking about, because you've just mentioned one of them,
yeah.
but there's plenty more, like a certain energy drink or this that, and stuff like that. So
Monster
yeah,
energy
Monster
drinks. Yeah,
Energy drink,
I
yeah.
think they've been taken out.
Oh
I
really?
think
There was a
I
lot of
think they've been
controversy with
taken out.
that. Yeah.
Well, the reason why I say this is that all of a sudden I'm not drinking Monster Energy drink. I'm drinking something called Time Up. But I don't know whether that's just because of where I was. I'm not sure. If tell you what, I'll show you something that is pure Kojima. It's exactly what I mean by pure Kojima. We'll do this while we're all on air. If you go on my Twitter right now,
Yes.
it's Gaming Gorilla 3.
Yes, got it.
If you go on my Twitter right now, the latest thing that I tweeted, a
Okay,
little
with the
video,
baby. All right.
just watch this.
Okay. Right.
It's 23 seconds long.
Uh, okay.
There's a silence because I wait for the reaction.
What the fuck? What? What? Huh?
Now, I will put that video up into this
Please.
stream so you can actually see it in the background of what's going on.
Yes.
It's 23 seconds long, but it's just that is pure Kojima.
I've never seen that on a game. I've never even seen that in
Yeah,
real
I mean,
life. Like, what?
exactly. That baby thing, all about the baby is what you connect. It's what they call a bridge baby. It's a baby taken from a still mother.
Okay.
So if the mother goes into not death but brain dead during
Yeah.
birth,
Yeah.
they will take the baby not during birth or while she's pregnant. If the mother goes brain dead while she's pregnant, they'll take the baby and sort of simulate it being in the womb. So the baby constantly thinks it's in his mother's womb.
Okay.
But because of that, you can use that um, stage of life to detect BTs,
Right. Okay.
paranormal thing. So that's what he taps into, and that's why you have this link between you and the baby. And you've got to, if you fall over while you're out and about, the baby will start crying, and you've got to soothe it. It's a
What?
fucking pain in the ass. It's a
That
real
is a
pain in the ass.
mind fuck. That is a mind fuck. What the hell?
Yeah, and if you're fighting BTs or you're in with BTs, the baby's crying its fucking head off, and you've got to stop what you're doing. If it gets too low, it gets too upset. It then starts killing itself
What?
with like toxins. I don't mean it tries to strangle itself or anything. I
All
mean
right.
there's toxins that get released that like almost kill it. So you've got to like you have this little red bar that's going down, and if that or orange bar, if that orange bar gets too low, you've literally got to find a place to hide and soothe the fucker back to life so it calms it down. Why are you fighting these BTs? It's insane.
That is a mind fuck.
It is insane. It is pure Kojima. And I tried to explain this to Mrs. B, and she just looked at me like I'd lost the plot completely.
I don't
I
even
shit
know
you
how I
not.
feel by watching that video. Like, what?
It's just, I saw that for the first time, and I literally sat there and I tweeted straight away like, "What the actual fuck have I just seen?"
Yeah, like the caption of the video is "What the actual fuck?" You know, that's what you've titled it. Like, what? That's
Yeah.
the phrase that you see yourself saying because of that, and that's just one scene out of the full game. The whole game just sounds like a mind fuck to me, but a
The
good
stupid
kind
part
of
about
mind
that
fuck.
baby thing, that's just a Kojima joke. And you don't realize till afterwards that it
Hmm.
was just, it's not a part of the story, it's not a part of the lore, there's no rhyme or reason to it, it's just a Kojima
It
joke.
just happened. It was yeah, right. I understand.
Yeah, and it's just, you just sit there going, you're messing with me for no reason here. You're not being fair. You know, it's insane. I've never played it. It's a game that has truly intrigued the shit out of me. I've got people in the Destiny clan that have been asking me, "What's it like? Do you recommend it?" I'm like, let's not go that far. Let's just slow your roll a second because the last time I got caught in that trap was No Man's Sky, and I recommended that to everyone within
Yeah,
the first week of buying it, and what a mistake that was. And I've
yeah.
never let it down. My mates still run around going, "Best game ever." Like, fuck off, you little twats.
See,
The
with
straight fact is this is a weird one.
See, with No Man's Sky, you know, it was tragic at the beginning. What I'm kind of, and it's suddenly gotten better, with the release of the free
Games have.
DLC Beyond. I'm hoping
Yeah.
that this game's not going to be very similar to that. I hope with the negative
No,
parts of this
different thing.
game, they're not going to bring out some sort of downloadable content or any sort of thing,
Wouldn't.
you know, that'll make it
No,
better.
no. You've got to understand Kojima. Kojima's one of these blokes who will put something out and say, like it or love it.
Right, okay.
You hate it or love it, I don't care. That's my vision, that's what it is. And he won't bend over for nobody. He won't apologize for anything. It just is what it is. That's his vision. That's his game. You either love it or hate it. And that's Kojima all over. And that's what makes you love him. That's what it's what endears you to him. Because there is no party line for him to toe. You know what I mean? There's no Activision or EA that's gonna be worried about the stock prices if he tells everyone to fuck off. It just is what it is. It's Kojima. And the straight fact is that when you give a developer that sort of reign, this is what's created. Now, it might not be to everybody's taste. It might be a marmite of a game. I mean, there's a film that I love. From Dusk Till Dawn. I
Yeah.
love that film. I've watched it a million times. But then again, I know people who absolutely detest it and call it an abomination to the movie industry. This game is the same thing. It's going to get people calling it a fucking waste of time.
There's a lot of people saying that. I've just
But
read
it's
some
not.
reviews. Yeah.
There's a Japanese magazine that give it like I think the fourth ever 10 out of 10 in its history of like publishing reviews.
Wow.
But I mean, he's got some massive accolades, but at the same time, he's got some massive criticisms. But I think that's what gets Kojima off.
Yeah.
Turns him on in life. He loves being polarizing.
See, I,
He loves walking that line.
I think you
And
said it
and this
right with the whole Marmite thing. Whether you love it or you fucking hate it, it's one of those.
fine. There's no mediocre to it.
Yeah.
There's nothing down the middle. You either absolutely love and appreciate the game for what it is,
Mhm.
and because bear in mind things like the voice acting and all the different parts of all the different characters are fucking amazing.
Mm.
Like top notch voice acting. And Mads Mikkelsen, Norman Reedus, and all the other parts that are in there did the job amazingly well. So its production value is of the highest class, but it's the whole package that puts people off. And I get it. I totally get it. But there's no middle of the road here. There's no it's all right. COD. The story, the single player story in COD. Yeah, you're all right. You're all right. Decent. It's not something I'm going to hail as game of the year, but it's not the worst I've played. That's a middle of the road single player. This this is the worst piece of shit I've ever played in my life, or thank you, Kojima, you're a gaming god. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
To do that, you've got to be one brave bastard. Not enough people do that these days.
Oh no, no, definitely not.
Uh, it sort of it shows what can happen. There's only one other that's done it. That was God of War.
Yep. Yeah.
How they wanted it and how they didn't give a fuck what anyone thought. This is our vision. It is what it is, like it or lumpy. But Sony seems to do that quite a lot, don't they?
They do. Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Seem to just say, look, we want a game from you. Give us what you want.
See, it's the Xbox that are pussies.
Said that from day one. The Xbox are console wannabes. They're just fucking useless bastards. Um, we what's an Xbox bloody thing? Sea of Thieves. Yeah, let's go play
Yeah.
Sea of Boredom. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Crackdown 3 that's never coming out. Got delayed for like 10 years or something daft. Yeah, that's Xbox for you.
Xbox
Whereas
used to be
Sony just
good.
like,
Xbox used to be good when it was the Xbox 360, but as soon as the Xbox One came out, they turned into pussies and started hiding behind PlayStation's fucking shadow. But just putting it out there that, the console or whatever, PC Master Race, let's go.
yeah, PCs are amazing, aren't they? They don't break down one bit and they're all the same, so there's no problem with cheating or anything. The PCs are amazing.
I knew I was
Fucking
going to
Master
set him
Race.
off. Let's go.
Fucking Master Race, my arse. They're fucking useless. To be fair, I'm on a bit of a downer with my PC at the moment. PCs can all suck dick at the moment. Whoever invented a PC needs to be thrown into a vat of boiling oil. Yeah, and just for those who complain at that shit, though, that's not me advocating murder. Just chill your beans.
It's
I once
called
said
a
something-
joke. It's a fucking
Yeah.
joke.
I once said something about he wants to be thrown screaming from a helicopter in front of his family. It's just it's just a term of endearment from me. It is what it is. You don't like it, don't listen to me. Fuck off. Jesus Christ. But no, it's just one of those things. I think Death Stranding is going to be the polarizing games of this generation.
Yeah.
Xbox doesn't really have a generation,
No.
and PCs is all one big generation in it.
See, I'm glad to see something different come on the market. You know, you've got
Different.
these
It's
battle
definitely that.
royales, you've got the games that are just reskinned. You know, you've got all this sort of meta bullshit that's coming out, like all the same games coming out, Apex Legends, etc. That you know, Fortnite, all that. I'm glad to see some sort of game that actually pushes you. It seems like it pushes you, and it pushes
Yeah.
like a genre when it doesn't really have one. It has multiple genres, but it's nice to see something different. That's quite
Well,
refreshing.
when I'm finished with Death Stranding, my next one's going to be the new Star Wars, and
Oh,
that's going to be interesting.
ooh,
Fallen something or other. But that's because that's what I'll trade this in for. So I'll still get like 30 quid back on the disc.
mhm,
But the straight fact is that um, it's going to be it's going from something like this to Fallen Order,
mhm,
because Fallen Order doesn't walk a line. It has to be Star Wars. It has to be. There's things it has to tick. Whether they are more careful is going to be an interesting view.
mhm.
It's going to be a bloody good comparison. Whereas Kojima doesn't give a shit, um, I think is it Respawn that's making it. I think Respawn are on Fallen Order. I'm sure it is. I think Respawn's gonna have to be a lot more careful.
Yeah.
I could be wrong then. If I am, put it in the comment section to say, Mr. B, you're a dick. It's actually such and such.
No, you are right. It's respawn.
Is it me? Hey, freaking hell, I know something. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually remembered something. Oh, I must be getting back to my old self. So, so with that being said, I tell you what, I'm glad to be back with you.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back with you. It's been quite lonely, I have to
Uh,
admit.
so lonely, I have nobody to give me shit. But oh bless. So yeah, so right, so we're back.
Yep.
This is obviously going out on Tuesday at 2 o'clock. It'll all be
Mhm.
ready.
Yep.
I will be testing it this afternoon just to make sure it's all right. And if it isn't, we'll be re-recording tomorrow.
Yep.
But other than that, it's been a cracking podcast, and I once again want to thank everyone for the support. It's been superb.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we'll have all the in the descriptions below about joining us on Twitter,
Mhm.
joining us on YouTube, and wherever else we decide to put our ugly mugs. And yeah, so that'll be all us. So until next week, everybody, thank you for listening. That's all from me, Mr. B.
And me tats.